Morning everyone, this is David Land speaking on the 15th of August around 9:30 in the morning, half an hour out from the Australian market open. So what I wanted to just run through you today, we've sort of been discussing before the market open that there's been a fairly limited number of setups, at least that we've been watching in the last little while, but a couple are actually starting to appear now. Now these setups that I wanted to run you through this morning are all actually the same setup as one another, and what's interesting actually is that we've got the setups occurring. One of them is on the company Santos that you can see right in front of you here. The other three are actually within the steel sector, so it will be quite interesting to see how they play out. But I'll run you through each of them here this morning. Now, what these setups are that we're looking at is called a W reversal. Now, it's essentially looking at a price movement where price, as you can see here, and typically you're looking for a reasonable trend to occur in the build up to this, and you can see then that there's been a downward movement in price here, and you can see that price has spiked outside of the Bollinger Bands here, so it's gone outside of the two standard deviations boundary of the Bollinger Bands. Price has now moved back inside here at this level, and then what it's done is it's also formed a subsequent trough here. Now these are very, very compact patterns. They don't necessarily have to be that way. You can sometimes get a very definitive movement where you've got a very notable trough, a peak, another trough, and then away it goes again. But this is actually happening in only a number of candles. So what you're typically looking for here is for price to, as I say, move out, new peak, new trough. Now what we're looking for as confirmation here is basically a close above the peak of this candle. So you're looking at a high here of around 1184. You'd need prices to close above that level in order for there to be adequate confirmation. Now what you can see also is, and certainly do check this out at home for yourselves, you've got this not in overbought territory at the moment and trending in the right direction there. Now it's actually a similar sort of situation on the weekly stochastic oscillator. Check that out for yourself. The weekly is well worth a look. Generally, if the weekly stochastic oscillator is trading in overbought territory, even if you've got a good daily setup, it pretty much, if you use a sort of a good dual time frame methodology, that will basically null and void the trade whilst the weekly is not setting up with you. Also, if it's actually trending downwards, you'd still be quite cautious actually. So you would typically at least wait for a crossover of the K line and the D line on the stochastic oscillator there. So moving right along, if we just bring up the chart of OneSteel. Now what you're seeing here, same sort of pattern. Now you notice, OneSteel and Santos, not similar companies by any stretch of the imagination, but see that same basic setup that we're looking for here. Got the nice daily now. Check the weeklies out on that with the rules that I was saying on stochastic oscillator. You want to be sure of that they're that it's not either A, in overbought territory or actually trending downwards. If either of those conditions are happening, basically the trade is null and void. Or let me say that's the more cautious approach to it. It doesn't have to null and void your trade, but that's the more cautious way in which you would typically want to be dealing. So same thing again here is you need a close above the high of this candle, so somewhere higher than 142 for this little formation to be set up properly. If we continue right along, we've got Sims Metal here now. Same sort of thing again, which is all very nice. So again, you're looking for that close to actually form the peak there, and that's basically the key characteristics. So OneSteel here, sorry, and then BlueScope. Sorry, gone back over the same chart, but you can see here BlueScope, same sort of formation, moving into the new trough being formed outside of the Bollinger Bands, new peak within, new trough. In this case, what we're going to need is a close above the high of 101 there. So something higher than 101 will basically confirm the pattern has been set up. As you can see here, all of these stochastic oscillators on the daily are in good form at the moment, but remember, always check your weeklies as well, just to confirm what's going on there. Now, if you've got any questions about these setups, either check previous blogs that we've written on them, or shoot us an email to education@cmcmarkets.com.au. That's education@cmcmarkets.com.au, and one of us will get back to you on any questions that you may have. But other than that, have a good trading week.